The chamber was silent, every being present hanging on her words. Among the audience were familiar faces: Zara Patel, the AI prodigy whose work had been crucial in the battle; Zelthor, the Zarkili advisor who had become one of humanity's staunchest allies; and even a delegation from the Draconian Empire, their former aggression replaced by a cautious respect. Today, Rodriguez continued, we gather not just to remember those we lost, but to forge a path forward. The Void Gate is closed, but we cannot assume the threat is gone forever. We must prepare, not as individual species or empires, but as a united galactic community. Her words resonated with many. In the wake of the battle, old enmities had begun to fade. The image of Admiral Sarah Chen's sacrifice, broadcast across the galaxy, had become a rallying point. If humans were willing to give everything to save not just their own kind, but all sentient life, how could others cling to ancient grudges? The proposal before the Confederation was ambitious: the formation of a joint scientific and military organization dedicated to understanding and defending against extra-universal threats. At its core would be the principles that had allowed humanity to survive and thrive: adaptability, creativity, and an unwavering spirit of cooperation. As the Confederation debated, back on Earth, humanity was undergoing its own renaissance. The influx of alien knowledge, combined with the crucible of recent events, had led to advancements in science, philosophy, and the arts that would have been unimaginable just a few years before. Cities on Earth and its colonies were being rebuilt with technology that blended the best of human ingenuity with alien insights. The result was a harmonious fusion of nature and technology, with towering arcologies that could house millions while having a minimal environmental impact. In orbit around Earth, a new structure was taking shape: the Celestial Accord Station. Designed as a neutral ground for galactic diplomacy and cooperation, it symbolized humanity's new role as mediators and innovators in the cosmic community. But perhaps the most profound changes were happening in the hearts and minds of humans across Earth and its colonies. The knowledge that we were not alone in the universe, and that we had played a crucial role in saving it, had led to a new sense of purpose and unity. Old national and ideological divisions began to fade as humanity increasingly saw itself as a single species with a shared destiny among the stars. This wasn't to say that all conflicts had been resolved. There were still debates about the pace and direction of human expansion, the role of AI in society, and how to balance progress with the preservation of human culture. But these debates were now framed in the context of humanity's place in a larger galactic civilization. As Dr. Rodriguez concluded her address to the Confederation, a vote was called. The proposal to form the United Galactic Defense and Exploration Initiative, UGDEI, passed with overwhelming support. Humanity would play a leading role, but the organization would draw on the strengths and knowledge of all member species. In the following months, the UGDEI began to take shape. Research outposts were established in the farthest reaches of known space, staffed by multi-species teams of scientists and explorers. A new generation of ships was commissioned, incorporating technology from a dozen different worlds. And at the heart of it all was a powerful AI network, inspired by Zora Patel's work, designed to coordinate efforts across vast interstellar distances. But the UGDEI wasn't just about defense. It also embodied humanity's enduring spirit of exploration and discovery. Expedition fleets were launched into uncharted regions of the galaxy, seeking out new life and new civilizations. The knowledge gained from these missions was shared freely among all member species, fostering a new age of scientific and cultural exchange. As humanity approached the 10th anniversary of First Contact, Earth hosted a grand celebration. Representatives from across the galaxy gathered to commemorate the journey that had brought them all together. The event was a dazzling display of unity and diversity, with beings of all shapes and sizes mingling in the shadow of the newly completed Celestial Accord Station. During the ceremony, a memorial was unveiled, a massive holographic sculpture that depicted key moments from humanity's journey to the stars. At its center was an image of the Invictus, Admiral Chen's ship, facing down the Void Harbingers. The inscription below read, "To those who gave everything so that all might live. May we forever honor their sacrifice by striving for a universe united in peace and discovery." Dr. Elena Rodriguez, now serving as Earth's chief xenolinguist, found herself aboard the Prometheus as it prepared for its maiden voyage to the galactic capital, Nexus Prime. The crew, a mix of Earth's finest and a contingent of Zarkili advisors, buzzed with nervous energy. "Initiating FTL drive," announced Captain Chen from the bridge. Next stop, Nexus Prime. The journey, which would have taken millennia with conventional propulsion, lasted mere hours. As they dropped out of FTL, the crew gasped collectively. Nexus Prime was a marvel of cosmic engineering, a massive space station that served as the seat of the Galactic Confederation, home to representatives from thousands of species. As the human delegation made their way through the station's sprawling corridors, they couldn't help but notice the diverse array of alien life forms. Some were vaguely humanoid, while others defied description. But what struck them most was the way these aliens regarded them, with a mix of curiosity, wariness, and in some cases, unmistakable hostility. Their Zarkila guide, Zelthor, led them to the Grand Assembly Chamber. Here, representatives from every member species of the Confederation had gathered to witness humanity's formal introduction to galactic society. The Arch-Consul of the Confederation, a towering crystalline being known as Xylith, addressed the assembly. "Today we welcome the newest sentient species to join our ranks, the humans of Earth." As Xylith spoke of unity and cooperation, Dr. Rodriguez noticed subtle shifts in the room's atmosphere. Some delegates nodded in approval, while others whispered among themselves, their body language, as alien as it was, clearly conveying disapproval. Captain Chen stepped forward to deliver Earth's address. Her words, carefully crafted to convey both humanity's eagerness to learn and our determination to carve our own path, were met with a mix of applause and murmurs. As the ceremony concluded, the human delegation found themselves approached by various alien representatives. Some offered welcomes and promises of alliance, while others issued thinly veiled warnings about the dangers of advancing too quickly. One encounter stood out. A reptilian being, introduced as Ambassador Sular of the Draconian Empire, fixed Chen with an unsettling gaze. "You humans have been given a great gift," Sular hissed. "But gifts can be burdensome. Be wary of where your new knowledge leads you." Before Chen could respond, Zelthor quickly ushered the humans away. "The Draconians are not to be trusted," he whispered. "They see your potential as a threat to their power." As the days passed, the human delegation learned more about the complex web of alliances and rivalries that defined galactic politics. They discovered that Earth's unique history and the speed of human adaptation had made many species wary. Some saw humans as potential allies, others as naive newcomers to be manipulated, and a few as a dangerous wild card in the cosmic balance of power. One afternoon, Dr. Rodriguez was summoned to a private meeting with a group of Zarkili elders. Their typically serene demeanor was replaced by an air of grave concern. "We have not been entirely forthcoming," the eldest Karzin admitted. "Our decision to contact Earth was not solely based on your technological advancement." Rodriguez leaned in, her heart racing. "What do you mean?" Karzin's multifaceted eyes seemed to shimmer with ancient knowledge. "There is a darkness stirring at the edges of the galaxy, Dr. Rodriguez, an ancient threat that once nearly wiped out all sentient life. We believe, we hope, that humanity might play a crucial role in facing this threat." As Karzin spoke of cosmic horrors and prophecies, Rodriguez felt a chill run down her spine. The revelation was overwhelming, but it also answered many questions. The urgency of the Zarkali, the mixed reception from other species, the cryptic warnings. Meanwhile, Captain Chen found herself in a heated debate with representatives from various species. The topic: Earth's rapid militarization of its new technology. "We have a right to defend ourselves," Chen argued, her voice firm. "Your defense looks suspiciously like preparation for conquest," retorted a draconian diplomat. As accusations flew and tensions rose, Chen realized the precarious position Earth now found itself in. We were no longer alone in the universe, but we were far from safe. Back on Earth, the first waves of extraterrestrial technology were reshaping society. While many embraced the changes, others resisted, fearing the loss of human identity and independence. Protests erupted in major cities, with slogans like "Earth for Humans" gaining traction. In orbit, construction began on Earth's first line of defense, a network of advanced satellites and space stations designed to protect the planet from potential threats. The project, dubbed Aegis, was a point of pride for some and a source of concern for others, both on Earth and among the galactic community. As the human delegation prepared to return home, they carried with them not just new knowledge and technology, but a profound understanding of the challenges that lay ahead. Humanity had taken its place on the galactic stage, but the real test was just beginning. Dr. Rodriguez, looking out at the vast expanse of space from the Prometheus, couldn't shake Karzan's words from her mind. What was this ancient threat? And why did the Zarkeli believe humanity could be the key to facing it? As they initiated the FTL drive for the journey home, one thing was clear: Earth's destiny now lay among the stars, for better or worse. The age of isolation was over. The age of cosmic challenges had begun. Human ingenuity unleashed. 6 months after humanity's introduction to the galactic community, Earth found itself facing its first major interstellar crisis. The Draconian Empire, emboldened by growing anti-human sentiment among certain factions, launched a surprise attack on one of Earth's newly established colony worlds, Nova Terra. The news reached Earth like a thunderbolt. Emergency alarms blared across every continent as the United Earth Council convened an emergency session. The Draconians' superior numbers and battle-hardened fleets seemed to give them an insurmountable advantage. Many in the galactic community watched with bated breath, certain they were about to witness the swift downfall of the upstart human race. But they had underestimated human tenacity and ingenuity. Captain Sarah Chen, now Admiral of Earth's fledgling space fleet, stood before a holographic display of the Nova Terra system. "We're outnumbered and outgunned," she admitted to her officers. "But we have something they don't: the element of surprise. They think they know what we're capable of. Let's show them how wrong they are." Over the next 72 hours, humanity unleashed a series of innovations that would forever change the face of galactic warfare. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, working with a team of human and Zarkeli scientists, made a breakthrough in quantum entanglement technology. They developed a system that allowed for instantaneous communication across vast distances, giving Earth's forces an unprecedented level of coordination. Meanwhile, a group of engineers led by Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka had reverse-engineered and improved upon alien shielding technology. The result was a defense system that could adapt in real time to enemy weapons, growing stronger with each attack. But the true game-changer came from an unexpected source. Zara Patel, a 19-year-old programming prodigy, created an AI system that could predict enemy movements with uncanny accuracy. When integrated into Earth's battle strategy, it allowed for surgical strikes that crippled the Draconian fleet without causing unnecessary casualties. As the battle for Nova Terra raged, the galaxy watched in awe. Human ships, though fewer in number, danced through the chaos with a grace and precision that left their enemies baffled. The adaptive shields shrugged off attacks that should have annihilated them. And every time the Draconians adapted their strategy, the humans seemed to be 2 steps ahead. Admiral Chen, standing on the bridge of the flagship HS Invictus, allowed herself a small smile as she watched the enemy fleet retreat. "Send a message to Earth," she commanded. "Nova Terra is secure. The Draconian threat has been neutralized." The news of humanity's victory spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Species that had dismissed humans as naive newcomers now regarded Earth with a mix of respect and fear. The Galactic Confederation convened an emergency session to address the conflict and its implications. In the Grand Assembly Chamber, the Archconsul Silith addressed the gathered representatives. The unprovoked draconian aggression against Earth's colony cannot go unanswered, the crystalline being declared. Furthermore, the humans have demonstrated a level of innovation and adaptability that cannot be ignored. We must reassess their position within our community. The draconian ambassador, hissing with barely contained fury, rose to speak. The humans are a threat to the established order. Their rapid advancement and willingness to use untested technologies put us all at risk. They must be contained. Murmurs of agreement and dissent rippled through the chamber. The debate raged for hours, with various factions arguing for and against increased human involvement in galactic affairs. Finally, Admiral Chen was invited to address the assembly. She stood tall, her voice clear and unwavering. We came to the stars in peace, eager to learn and contribute. We asked for friendship and were met with hostility. Make no mistake, we will defend ourselves and our allies with every ounce of creativity and determination we possess. But our true desire is not conquest or domination. We want to be partners in building a better galaxy for all sentient beings. Her words, broadcast across countless worlds, struck a chord with many. In the following days, a new coalition began to form. Species that had long chafed under the oppressive policies of older, more established powers saw in humanity a chance for change. Back on Earth, the victory was met with celebration, but also introspection. The true cost of the battle became clear as the first casualties were reported. Memorials sprang up in cities around the world, honoring those who had given their lives in humanity's first interstellar conflict. In the aftermath, Earth's leaders grappled with their new reality. The planet was now a significant power in galactic politics, but with that power came immense responsibility and risk. Dr. Rodriguez, poring over data from the battle, made a startling discovery. Some of the draconian weapons had left traces of energy unlike anything seen before. As she dug deeper, the chilling realization dawned on her. These weapons bore similarities to the ancient threat the Zarkuli had warned about. She immediately called an emergency meeting with Earth's top officials and their Zarkuli advisors. As she presented her findings, the room fell into a tense silence. Zelfor, the Zarkuli ambassador, his usually calm demeanor shaken, spoke gravely. If what you say is true, Dr. Rodriguez, then our worst fears are confirmed. The Draconians may have awakened something that should have remained dormant, something that threatens not just Earth or the Draconians, but all life in the galaxy. The revelation sent shockwaves through Earth's leadership. What had started as a conflict over territory now had galaxy-wide implications. Admiral Chen, her face grim, turned to the assembled group. We need to know more. If this ancient threat is real, we need to be prepared. Over the next few weeks, Earth became a hub of feverish activity. The victory over the Draconians had showcased humanity's potential, and now that potential was being channeled into a new purpose, understanding and potentially combating an enemy that threatened all sentient life. Dr. Rodriguez led a joint human Zarkuli research team, delving into ancient records and analyzing the energy signatures from the Draconian weapons. Their findings were troubling. References to a race of beings known as the Void Harbingers appeared in the histories of multiple species, always associated with devastation on an unimaginable scale. Meanwhile, Zara Patel's AI system was repurposed to sift through vast amounts of data from across the galaxy, looking for patterns that might indicate the presence or awakening of these ancient beings. The young prodigy worked tirelessly, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible in artificial intelligence. As Earth prepared for a threat it barely understood, the planet's unique position in the galactic community continued to evolve. Many species, impressed by humanity's handling of the Draconian attack, sought closer ties. Trade agreements were signed, cultural exchanges initiated, and military alliances formed. But not everyone was pleased with Earth's rising influence. A coalition of older, more conservative powers began to view humanity as a destabilizing force. They argued that humans were recklessly charging ahead without regard for ancient traditions or established power structures. The tension came to a head when Earth proposed a galaxy-wide initiative to prepare for the potential return of the Void Harbingers. In the Grand Assembly Chamber of Nexus Prime, Admiral Chen presented the plan. "We stand at a crossroads," she declared, her voice echoing through the vast chamber. "We can cling to old rivalries and power struggles, or we can unite in the face of a threat that could end all we know. Earth pledges its full resources and creativity to this cause. We ask you all to do the same." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices. Some pledged immediate support, while others dismissed the threat as human fearmongering. The draconian representatives, still smarting from their defeat, accused Earth of using the situation to grab power. As the debate raged, Dr. Rodriguez received an urgent message from Earth. Zara's AI had detected an anomaly, a surge of the same strange energy they had been studying, originating from a distant, uninhabited system at the edge of the galaxy. Without waiting for the Confederation's consensus, Earth acted. A joint fleet, consisting of human ships and vessels from allied species, was hastily assembled. Their mission: investigate the source of the energy surge and, if necessary, contain any threat they discovered. As the fleet prepared to depart, Admiral Chen addressed the crew. "We journey into the unknown, facing a danger we can barely comprehend. But we go not just for Earth, not just for our allies, but for all life in this galaxy. We may be young in the cosmic scale, but we carry with us the hopes and dreams of countless generations. Whatever we face out there, we face it together." The fleet jumped to FTL, leaving behind a galaxy in turmoil. Earth had taken a stand, and in doing so, had irrevocably altered the course of galactic history. As they hurtled towards what might be the greatest challenge humanity had ever faced, one thing was clear: the age of human timidity in the face of cosmic powers was over. The sleeping giants of Earth had not just awakened, they had roared their defiance to the stars themselves. The ancient threat. The joint fleet dropped out of FTL at the edge of the target system, a place so remote it had never been properly named, only designated XR-751. As the ship's sensors came online, an eerie silence fell over the command centers. Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the HSS Invictus, her eyes fixed on the main view screen. "What are we looking at, people?" she asked, her voice tense. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, who had insisted on joining the mission, worked furiously at her console. "The energy readings are off the charts, Admiral. They're similar to what we detected from the draconian weapons, but magnified 1,000-fold. The source of the energy was a massive structure floating in space, if it could be called a structure at all. It seemed to shift and writhe, defying the laws of physics as they understood them. Parts of it appeared to fade in and out of existence, while others glowed with an otherworldly light. "By the stars," whispered Zelthor, the Zarkeli advisor. "It's a void gate." The legends were true. As the fleet cautiously approached, the void gate pulsed with increasing intensity. Suddenly, alarms blared across every ship. "Multiple contacts emerging from the gate," shouted the tactical officer. What came through could only be described as nightmares given form. Massive beings, their bodies a twisted mix of organic matter and what looked like living darkness, poured out of the void gate. Some were planet-sized, others smaller but no less terrifying. "All ships, battle stations," Chen commanded. "Defensive formation Delta. Do not engage unless fired upon. Let's not start a war if we can avoid it." But diplomacy was not on the agenda of these cosmic horrors. The lead entity, a colossal mass of writhing tentacles and glowing eyes, unleashed a beam of pure darkness towards the fleet. "Evasive maneuvers," Chen yelled, but it was too late for some. 3 ships, 2 human, and 1 alien ally, were engulfed by the beam. They didn't explode or break apart, they simply ceased to exist, as if they had never been there at all. The battle that followed was unlike anything recorded in galactic history. The human-led fleet fought with everything they had, unleashing weapons and tactics that pushed the boundaries of known science. Zara Patel's AI, integrated into the fleet's systems, worked overtime to predict the seemingly random movements of the Void Harbingers. But for every small victory, the fleet suffered devastating losses. The Void Harbingers seemed to ignore the laws of physics, appearing and disappearing at will, shrugging off attacks that could shatter planets. As the battle raged, Dr. Rodriguez made a crucial discovery. "Admiral," she called out, her voice shaking with excitement and fear. "The Void Gate. It's not just a portal. It's drawing energy from our universe to sustain itself and the Harbingers. If we can disrupt that energy flow—" Chen nodded grimly. "We might be able to close the gate and cut off their reinforcements. But how do we get close enough?" The answer came from an unexpected source. Zara Patel's voice crackled over the comms. "Admiral, I've been running simulations. There's a way, but it's a one-way trip." The young prodigy explained her plan. By overloading the FTL drives of a ship and detonating them inside the gate's energy field, they might be able to create a feedback loop that would collapse the gate. But whoever piloted the ship wouldn't be coming back. A heavy silence fell over the bridge. Then Chen spoke. "I'll do it. The Invictus has the strongest drive. We'll draw their fire while a smaller team sneaks in with the AI to guide them." Protests erupted from the crew, but Chen silenced them with a raised hand. "This isn't up for debate. Humanity stepped onto the galactic stage promising to be a force for good. It's time we lived up to that promise." As the crew prepared for the desperate gambit, messages were sent back to Earth and a galactic confederation, explaining the situation and the plan. The response was immediate. Reinforcements were dispatched from every corner of the galaxy, species that had been bitter enemies now united against a common, unfathomable threat. The plan was set in motion. The Invictus, with Admiral Chen at the helm, charged towards the largest concentration of Void Harbingers, guns blazing. The monstrosities took the bait, focusing their eldritch energies on the flagship. Meanwhile, a small, stealthy craft piloted by a joint human-alien crew and guided by Zora's AI slipped towards the Void Gate. On board, Dr. Rodriguez worked feverishly to modify the ship's drive for maximum destructive potential. As they approached the gate, the true scale of the horror they faced became apparent. Through the swirling vortex, they could see glimpses of another universe, a place of utter darkness, teeming with countless more harbingers waiting to pour through. "We can't let that happen," Rodriguez muttered, making the final adjustments. "For Earth, for everyone." Back on the Invictus, Chen watched as her ship took hit after hit. Systems were failing, the hull was breaching, but still they fought on, drawing more and more of the enemy's attention. "Just a little longer," she urged her crew, her ship herself. The small craft reached its destination. As Void Harbingers began to notice and turn towards them, Rodriguez activated the drive. A blinding light erupted from the ship, engulfing the Void Gate. For a moment, it seemed as if the universe itself held its breath. Then, with a silent roar that shook the very fabric of space-time, the gate began to collapse. Void Harbingers caught in the energy field were twisted and torn apart, while others frantically tried to escape back to their dark realm. On the Invictus, Chen allowed herself a small smile as she watched the gate crumble. "Give them hell," she whispered, before the flagship, battered beyond repair, exploded in a final act of defiance. As quickly as it had begun, the battle was over. The Void Gate collapsed in on itself, taking the remaining Harbingers with it. Where once there had been a tear in the universe, now there was only the quiet of empty space, littered with the debris of the bravest fleet the galaxy had ever seen. The surviving ships, joined by the arriving reinforcements, began the solemn task of searching for survivors and piecing together what had happened. The cost had been astronomical, but the threat had been neutralized. As news of the victory spread across the galaxy, a new era dawned. Species that had distrusted or feared humanity now hailed them as saviors. The sacrifice of Admiral Chen and her crew became legend, a testament to the indomitable spirit of Earth. In the aftermath, as the galaxy began to rebuild and prepare for any future incursions, one thing became clear: humanity's place among the stars was no longer in question. We had faced the darkness at the edge of creation and emerged, battered but unbroken, ready to help shape a new future for all sentient beings. The sleeping giants had not only awakened, they had risen to become guardians of the galaxy itself. Humanity's finest hour. In the years following the Battle of the Void Gate, as it came to be known, the galaxy underwent a transformation. The near brush with annihilation had shaken the foundations of many long-held beliefs and power structures. In this new reality, Earth and humanity found themselves at the center of a changing cosmic order. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, one of the few survivors of the mission to close the Void Gate, had become a reluctant symbol of human courage and ingenuity. As she stood before the Galactic Confederation, now expanded to include representatives from nearly every known sentient species, she couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought them all to this point. Distinguished representatives, she began, her voice carrying across the grand chamber. 5 years ago, we stood on the brink of annihilation. The Void Harbingers threatened not just one planet, not just one species, but the very fabric of our universe. In our darkest hour, we discovered that our greatest strength lies not in our individual power, but in our unity. As the hologram shimmered against the backdrop of Earth's night sky, Dr. Rodriguez found herself standing next to Zelthor. The Zarkali turned his multifaceted eyes towards her, his expression unreadable to most humans, but Rodriguez had learned to interpret the subtle shifts in his bioluminescence. "You know," Zelthor said softly, "when we first discovered your world, we hoped that humanity might play a crucial role in the galaxy's future. But I don't think any of us could have imagined this." Rodriguez smiled, her gaze taking in the diverse crowd around them, humans and aliens alike, all united in a shared vision of the future. "We still have a long way to go," she replied. "There will be new challenges, new threats,